Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So What's the Meta is a series we do covering recent hero changes and how they affect the meta. So for example, Genji was nerfed a couple of weeks ago, but where does that leave him? And where does that leave other heroes that are either heavily countered by him or vying for his position in a team? We talk about what we've seen in the past few weeks as well as look at the competitive meta analysis done by Planet Overwatch, which you can find in the description below. It's worth reading to keep up to date with what heroes the pros are using at this current point in time. We have a lot to get through, so let's crack on straight away.
So let's start this off with the offense heroes. McCree is still used an awful lot, even with the overall nerf to ultimates. Of course it's also used a lot at the high end of competitive, and no doubt to keep those Genjis and Tracers in check, but also because the stun is worth more now that when you interrupt the ultimates, they are basically gone. Soldier has come back, but not as much as we expected. We still would go with the advice that he's worth picking up and playing, as he's somewhat easier to play and play consistently well with due to his utility. Genji, even though he was nerfed, is still heavily involved in the meta and still gives people problems. Tracer and Reaper do still find their uses, but that's more on control than anywhere else. We like using Reaper when defending, as he's great at scaring away people from an objective or payload. Moving on to Tracer, who is kind of struggling actually. She does wonders on control maps, but isn't nearly as amazing when attacking or defending objectives, especially on maps with a lot of verticality. Pharah has had a teeny tiny boost with the changes to Zenyatta's Discord Orb, making her less of a clay pigeon in the air. However, McCree and Soldier will still have an easy time shooting her down due to their somewhat recent buffs in earlier patches that have to do with accuracy and range. All in all, the Pharah situation is kind of unchanged. For Season 2 though, we would say that all these heroes in the right hands can do work, but Genji and McCree are still Blizzard's favorites, and it will be interesting to see if more nerfs come their way.
Supports are now in a relatively healthy situation. Zenyatta's Discord Orb was nerfed and we've seen him being switched out for pretty much all of the other supports in game. Lucio, as we've gone over plenty of times, is always an important pick on any map, so you should always be running him. Zenyatta is still a strong pick to go alongside on attacking maps, and we would definitely recommend playing him or practicing him at this current point in time, but don't be afraid to swap him out for an Ana or even a Mercy in some situations. Now that Ana has been out for quite some time, it's a good opportunity to experience her and put her toolkit to good use. Season 2 now uses a time-based system, and Ana is very good for snowballing, so do make use out of her biotic grenade, and of course her ultimate. Mercy is playing a game champion right now and is a very strong pick on defense for that reason. We would say pair her up with a Lucio when defending on payload maps and stuff like it. And of course that leaves us with Symetra, who is still having a horrible time at the bottom of the meta. She can still work in capable hands on defense, but the risk of losing your teleporter, dying and losing the objective is a much bigger risk than just having a Lucio heal around him. Again, because it's a time-based system, it's too much of a risk to run consistently.
Defense in competitive is still non-existent for the most part, but there's still definitely a surge of interest surrounding one hero in particular at least, Hanzo. Yes, Hanzo is a lot more consistent, and players that can do work on him will enjoy their time in the sun. Is it enough for him to be a viable pick in competitive though? We're leaning more towards a no here honestly, but he can do well occasionally. He's an incredibly rewarding hero to play, as nothing feels better than headshotting a zippy Tracer, but the offensive picks we went over earlier can't do so much more than Hanzo, and they're still more consistent overall. We've seen a lot of him though, that's for sure, but you might want to take those readings with a pinch of salt. Junkrat is also another pick that we would recommend to use in certain situations. Lots of people struggle to maneuver around a choke that is spammed with Junkrat grenades, and he's a great hero at getting cheeky pickoffs and throwing a ton of consistent damage at the enemy. We always talk about Reinhardt being such an important pick in a team, so what better character to throw straight at that shield than our Aussie psychopath. Mei is pretty decent if you play to her strength. The Mei wall strat on Hanamura works wonders and can be applied to most maps with similar chokes, though recently we started seeing interesting counter Mei walls that lift the attacking team up and over that wall, so keep that in mind too. And she's also the queen of killing time and stalling, which makes her very important in Season 2, with the new time bank system applying to payload maps too. While she cannot kill things as quickly as other heroes, she can damn well stop them in their tracks, and her ultimate is great for point clearing or even just zoning. Our verdict is to not hesitate to pick her up when it seems appropriate, but do watch our video going over how to do it effectively, which can be seen on screen now. Moving on, Widowmaker is still not doing very well at all actually. It's almost like Blizzard have forgotten she exists to a certain extent. Even in the hands of a capable player, she just seems like a waste of space. Torbjorn and Bastion are okay for now I guess, but whilst they're still not that good and consistent, they can be great at stalling out the enemies on the first objective. Bastion is a tad bit better at this due to how incredibly fast he can mow down a Reinhardt shield. If you pick him, the enemy might not expect it, people panic, run in and die, and it's a gamble that sometimes pays off, but you still have to be careful with these.
Tanks are still where they were before. Reinhardt is still god pick and absolutely needed on your team for escort and assault. Zaria is also making some clear headway with being the off tank for the season. Her ability to keep coming at the enemy with so much damage makes squishy heroes quake in their boots. We'll have videos going over how to make the most of our Russian queen soon, but she's definitely our choice pick for the time being. Winston still rocks and control and does work on attack as well. He's often overlooked as not being very strong, but when it comes to stalling, him and his ultimate will keep you there for a good few more seconds. D.Va is still a handful as well, definitely worth choosing on attack and defense, and we definitely like her on assault maps like Anubis and co. And finally Roadhog, still a hefty guy to move from objectives and has great damage output, especially with comboing and killing low health targets. All choices can work alongside a Reinhardt. We did a video going over when to play each of these heroes and when works best for them, which you can see on screen now.
So, what should you be playing during this patch? For offense heroes, keep playing the heroes you're good at, but remember that McCree and Genji still reign supreme. Defense heroes are actually viable now, but use them at your own risk. Mei and Junkrat are safer options now, but still have a chance to blow up in your face, so to say. Supports are very balanced, can be mixed up and varied a lot. Lucy still rocks and can be matched up with any other supports, and even though Zen is not as strong anymore, he's still a good pick. We may do a video going over this in more detail, so keep up to date with that. And last but not least, tanks are very similar to last patch, although you almost always want a Reinhardt, and Zaria is also still a very strong pick in pretty much all scenarios. So these two stick out a little bit extra.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think of the meta currently, what heroes you would like to see buffed and nerfed, and until next time, take care. We'll see you then.